Hello, hello. Welcome back to What Even Is Life with me, Brandon Owens. I'm your host, Brandon Owens, and this is a podcast where we just talk about anything like shower thoughts, what's on your mind, like what are you thinking about, like what's something that no one really discusses. So today I have the lovely pianist, fashion icon, the moment. We have the lovely Maria Magnoli. Hello.
Hi, Brandon. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. So today's topic, we're going to talk about rebranding our soul and kind of acknowledging like how we outgrown the versions of ourselves. Why did you pick this topic to talk about?
Well, lately it's something I've been thinking about a lot and something I thought about very often when I hit college, especially because I realized I'm not the same person I was. And
Hmm.
a lot of people can say the same when they enter college.
Yeah. And our first question I want to talk about is like, how do you define outgrowing a version of yourself? Like, what do you think is a good definition you would give?
I think generally it's just evolving who you once were based on new experiences that you take in.
Yeah, I would say for me, outgrowing a version of yourself is realizing like your past and realize like what versions of yourself you didn't like, and you kind of unlearn those things and you kind of twist it to be a better version of yourself, honestly. And one of our subtopics we wanted to talk about was, give me 1 second, uh, was, is it a conscious choice or something that just happens over time?
I think overall and generally speaking, it's something we don't think about. But I think when we truly reflect on those experiences, we start to recognize them more and we recognize the patterns. But I don't think it's something we focus on consciously.
Hmm.
Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I feel like it can be conscious if it's like in your face. Like there's multiple times where I've made conscious choices on, okay, I previously did that thing in the past and I don't want to do that anymore. And I'm gonna do the complete opposite of that.
Mhm.
But then, like you said, there is times where you don't even realize that you're making different decisions for yourself and just not doing what you usually do. So honestly, it's not always a conscious choice, but
Mhm.
it can be if, like, you take the time and reflect and realize what you wanna do, you
Like,
know?
if you realize a change needs to be made. Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Like, if you keep doing a pattern that you know is bad for you, but you just do it anyway
Mhm.
because it's what you used to, I think consciously, if you realize that
Yeah.
pattern needs to switch, then yeah, you know?
Mhm.
Well, talk about a time you had to change a pattern of yours that you knew was bad for you.
Oh, this is actually really deep. I vaped quite a bit in high
Mhm.
school, not
Mhm.
proud of it.
Okay.
Um, but I realized it was more something to occupy my boredom than it was truly an addiction because when I quit, it I never went back to it.
Yeah.
It was something to do. But the reason I knew I had to stop, it actually wasn't the health concern to me. It was more the fact that I stopped doing other work because of it. Because
Yeah.
I would sit in my room and just go at it and not
Mhm.
I would not be playing piano, I would not be doing my schoolwork, it distracted me from everything,
Yeah.
and one day I just luckily that wasn't something awful to overcome, I know for some people it's really hard,
Yeah.
but that was something I decided, "Okay, I will never progress as a person if I continue to do this," and it's kind of it was a really nasty habit for me anyway,
Mhm. Yeah.
so I knew I had to stop that, and luckily I overcame it.
Yeah. And mine isn't as deep as yours, but thank you so much for sharing. But I was gonna talk about, like, back in high school, I was so obsessed with wanting to be popular. I wanted everyone to like me, and I think that was a really big thing that occupied my mind so much and, like, my personality. I've always had this thing where I wanted people to like me, but I would just pretend to be other people and match on to their personas to make people seem like that's who I should be. And it kinda messed with my mind because I like to talk about this. I transferred from a predominantly Black school to a more diverse, predominantly
Mhm.
white middle school, and that environment was very different for me. I thought I needed to be like everybody else because that was my environment at the moment, and I remember being very upset with how I was living, how my life was, because it wasn't as glitzy and glamorous as my peers, and I would try to force myself to kind of convince myself in a way that my life is as rich and expensive and glamorous as everyone else, but in reality, it's not. And I would kind of like lie to these people's faces, not like more so lie about who I am, but just kind of like lie about like my personality, my upbringing a little bit. And it took the global pandemic where we kind of had to be alone in our thoughts to make me realize, okay, maybe I should just be myself. But then it
Mhm.
gave me the grand question, who am I? Who is Brandon? What is he about? You know? And that's when I found my passion for singing again because
Yeah.
I've been singing forever. But when did middle school and like part of high school, it wasn't the best quality of myself I wanted to put out there because I was busy trying to be everybody else. But then after the global pandemic, I realized, okay, singing is what I do best. It's what I love to do. I did 4 ensemble groups this semester as a non-music major, and that was crazy. Schedule was hectic, but
Mhm.
I'm very glad that I took that time from the pandemic to realize, okay, being myself is more important than everyone else, you know?
I think that's one of the biggest shifts that I everyone goes through, especially with high school.
Mhm.
I think anyone that says, "I never tried to fit in," or "I never tried to do what other people were doing," maybe some people do it more than others,
Yeah,
but I think you're really lying to yourself if you say that was never a common pattern in high school.
right, like, when you said you had that vape addiction, like, was that because of, like, who you were around? Was everyone else doing it?
Yeah, a lot of people I was surrounded with did it,
Yeah.
and I feel that's why I started it, and
Mhm.
even though towards the end I was surrounded with people who didn't do it, I just continued it out of habit.
Mhm.
So but I maybe that's what helped me wean off too, is the fact that people around me at that point were not doing it anymore.
Yeah. Do you think, like I know this sounds odd, but, like, do you think, like, vaping was, like, the trend of,
Oh,
like, high
no,
school?
100%. That's definitely why I was hooked on it because it was a
Yeah.
trend.
Mhm, like, at my school, it was left and right, you just breathed it, you
Yeah.
just then you know when people just hide it in their sleeves and just
Oh,
put it
yeah. Every
that
party, yeah.
every party, it was crazy. I fortunately never did that, but I was around many people who did, and
See,
I'm like
fortunately for you that you didn't do it 'cause you're a singer. That's scary.
Yeah. Oh, no, that scares me all the way. And yes, I tried it once. Guys, we're all human, and
Yeah.
I hated it. I don't know how anybody can continue to do that, but no judgment here,
Oh,
though.
no, no, no.
No.
It's we all make mistakes. I'm not even afraid to own up to it because
Yeah.
it was a phase. It was something that a lot of people were doing, and I just so happened to fall into it.
Yeah, and it's perfectly okay, like, in high school, like, you're figuring yourself
Yeah.
out, right? And alright, next question. It's the difference between evolving versus abandoning who you once were.
That's a good one.
What do you think that means to you, honestly?
I think evolving is healthy,
Yeah,
and sometimes abandoning who you once were generally can be bad.
yeah.
Now, if you're abandoning a part of yourself that was truly horrific, like maybe it was an addiction of some
Ye
sort,
mhm.
I don't think there's any problem with abandoning that. But evolving, I think you're just taking in new experiences that you didn't have before and you're letting them shape who you become.
Yeah.
I can speak to this personally because my college experience was so much different than high school.
Mhm.
My high school was pretty small, surrounded with a lot of the same types of people, and we all knew each other because it was such a small school, so there was not much variety, I mean, compared to OU at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So, coming here was a bit of a culture shock,
Mhm.
and when I got here, just the different circumstances that people went through that I became friends with, like,
Yeah.
somebody I was close with got evicted from their apartment. Somebody I was close with, I learned was sexually assaulted by a family member from a very young age
Oh
for years.
my goodness.
And realizing, number 1, how grateful I am that things like that didn't happen to me, but also understanding that there are reasons why people think the way they do, and we can't judge people based on that because we never, never know what somebody else is going through. the amount of stories I've heard, like, now that I'm in my junior year here, make me understand we have to actually take everything with a grain of salt on why somebody may be acting out,
Right,
and just understand people and maybe listen a bit more than we are to judge.
right,
And I think that
absolutely.
hearing stories like that evolves us as people, and even if somebody doesn't choose to go to college, I think they really do need to be immersed in different experiences that give them access to different people,
Yeah,
because you can't stick around the same people your entire life. You really can't. I think it's really like, it plateaus your growth.
yeah, and I think, like, evolving for me is like, okay, this is a hard question for real, but I'll start with abandoning like you did. Like, I don't think you should like abandon who you once were because it is part of your story. It's part of your background. It's what makes you who you are. It's kind of like your testimony if you're religious. It's like
Mhm.
you rely on those stories from where you weren't in that dark place or where you weren't the best version of yourself to kind of give you that ladder to showcase like how you become a better person, how you made it past the other side. And I think abandoning in that case is kinda like, like throwing away what's once you once were, Not more so getting rid of it. It's
Right.
it's a crazy thing. It's like it's how you interpret the word abandoning because, yeah, you should, like, get rid of your old habits, but I don't think you should abandon, like, those memories, those thoughts because it shapes you in a way.
It does.
And I think evolving is absolutely amazing, and it ties back to what we talked about with, like, how you said you were around people who didn't vape, and it kinda motivated you to not do so, and it
Mhm.
does really your environment really does matter and how your background is always a tie to who you are as a person
Yeah.
because, going from high school to I'm only a sophomore right now, and I've experienced so much already in my 2 years here. I've got to talk to so many different kinds of people, different backgrounds, different stories, ethnic backgrounds, like, it's crazy.
Mhm.
And, I did a year of music, and everyone is always so, like, "Compose of this, compose of that, music this, music that," and I wasn't like that. I was just someone who just liked to sing and wanted to study
Yeah.
music, and it was a very different thing for me. And I was very confused. There were times where I'm like, "Do I really belong here?"
Right.
Because it was such a different environment for me. Because for me in high school, it's like you sing in choir and that's it.
Mhm.
I didn't have the theory training. I didn't have all the training like everyone else, which is why OU has a really good music program.
And if I could just interrupt you there,
Yeah.
and don't remember the exact day that we officially started talking, but I remember it was on that kind of topic. It was, we
Yeah.
both love music, but we don't want it to consume us. And,
Absolutely.
I am still majoring in music to finish it off, and
Yeah.
who knows, like, I'm still preparing a master's audition rep just in case I ever choose to come back to it.
Mhm.
But that's like, we have so many different things that we enjoy, whether
Yeah.
it's people or music, but again, we don't like music to consume us.
Yeah, which by the way, she doesn't wanna tell you, she is a phenomenal pianist. I seen her perform before, she is
Thank you.
so amazing, and what she also won't tell you is that she is great vocalist as well.
Oh, I'm not.
We
That's
did
such a lie.
It's not a lie, she doesn't wanna tell you the truth. We did symphony chorus together, and obviously for those who don't know what symphony chorus is, it's when the Oakland Symphony Orchestra and the chorale and chorus, the choirs come together and we make magic, we make music together on the Detroit Symphony Orchestra Hall stage, and I've had the pleasure of sitting in front of Maria and our good friend Martina, like, banging out those alto notes like crazy. I was like, "Come on, altos." Altos don't get enough love,
We
so
don't.
no,
We don't. Not everyone can be a soprano.
no, and, like, since me and you, we're the middle
Yeah,
of the group, we're alto tenor, we're always kind of overlooked by the really low
completely.
and really high vocals, and no one talks about this. I always feel bad for the altos. We're gonna side note this because every single piece of music, our notes are very consistent,
It
like, it's a
keeps the
path.
chord together, though. We have to
Absolutely.
be there. We're very important to the structure.
Absolutely. Without us, it'll just be really high, really low.
Yeah,
You need that middle
we need
ground
that
to
filler.
Yes, we do. Alright. I just wanted to put that out there. But, yeah, I think evolving is important to anybody and realizing your past and realizing what you have in the future, honestly. Like, if you know what's like has a bright future ahead of you, then yeah, just work on yourself, you know? All right. So the next topic I want to talk about is recognizing the signs that you've outgrown a version of yourself. So I know you previously mentioned that being around certain people who didn't vape kind of helped you with not doing that as well. Can you give us another time or instance where that's like you recognize you outgrown a version of yourself?
Yes, and it's always through for me, it's always recognizable through the people that either enter my life or leave my life, more
Hmm.
specifically leave.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I truly don't think back to my entire vaping thing as, like, this huge milestone. I'm
Yeah.
not sure why that is. What I find is more of my milestone. So what people don't know is I have played piano since I was 4,
Yeah.
but I actually never prioritized it that heavily in my life until right before I entered college.
Really?
Yeah. I always
Wow.
played, but it was never something I really shared with people until that point, and that's why so
Wow.
many people were surprised that I became a piano major because
Hmm.
I never really shared that, and I never shared it to the people that I went to high school with either.
Yeah.
But, especially when I gave, like, a recital over the summer for a chamber group that I had, or I had a recital the very first semester when I was playing in college for the first time,
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of people I was very close with for years, not no longer congratulating me on anything. No
Hmm.
longer I mean, I was posting things constantly because there were so many videos, and I don't like to ever get petty about the different times you post things and people don't comment. Like, everybody's got stuff going on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you post so often and the people that say they are closest to you fail
Yeah.
to acknowledge anything at all that you've achieved, I think that speaks volumes.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
those people no longer say anything to me at all anymore, don't even ask me how I am. So that especially was the biggest wake up call to me. Okay,
Yeah.
these people don't actually care about you. Or
Yeah.
maybe they did at one point, they just don't understand where my head is at now. But regardless, I think why would you not want to congratulate your friends on things they've achieved? I think that's terrible, actually.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, like jealousy is a really big thing. Like,
Yeah.
do you think like maybe with your constant posting of all the things she's doing, it kind of gives people that like, oh, she's so full of herself. Why is she doing all of that? Like, do you think that would go into
I
account?
think it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had so many people here, like you, and different people inquire, always congratulating me and saying, "Wow, you do it all, you do it all."
Yeah.
And I really appreciate when I receive praise like that.
Yeah.
Now, seeing that you guys are just so sweet, there and you guys are always praising me like, "How do you do so many things?" Maybe I think about that sometimes and I'm question, okay, maybe there are people that don't like that
Yeah.
don't like that I like to do so many different things.
Because not only are you a piano major, you're also a public relations major too.
Right.
And you have your own realtor. Like, I don't know if it's your own, but you're working for a realtor company. Like, you're doing so much right now. And yeah, for some people that can be a lot. Some people don't like that.
It's not for everyone, and that's
Yeah.
definitely a choice you have to make. Do you want to do that or not? I don't shade anyone that doesn't choose to do that,
Right.
but I've always liked to be involved in so many different things. So why, as a very close friend to me, would you not support me in that?
Absolutely. And I'm very glad that like our support means a lot to you. I One thing about me is I love giving out compliments. I think
Oh,
compliments are the best thing to give people. I think it's better than a gift, honestly, because your words of encouragement and affirmation means the absolute world to people. And I want to be the one to give that to people. And I'm sorry that there's people out there who don't want to give you that kind of accolades because you do so much. You are a very busy woman. You're doing so much, and yet you're here to do a podcast with me, so that means a lot to me, you know?
well, I was very excited to go on to begin with, but back to the compliments thing, it does mean more than every gift
Yeah,
because I'm not necessarily the most outgoing person at all times. Sometimes
yeah.
I'm a bit more to myself and people maybe question why that is, but
Mhm.
I say to people like you who compliment so many people and are so genuine in doing it, even if you feel like the person doesn't give that back all the time, or you maybe
Yeah.
think, "Oh, it doesn't matter to them that I just complimented them." I think it matters more to people like me, or
Mhm.
that act a bit more reserved at times.
Yeah.
We do think about it all the time, and I think how grateful I am to people like you that are so sweet, and I really appreciate it more than you would ever know. Because
Yeah.
there are so many people that, yeah, I do post a lot maybe about the stuff that I'm doing, but there is
Yeah.
a purpose for that. It's because there are employers that follow me,
Right,
or
you're putting yourself out
I'm putting
there.
myself out there,
Mhm.
and social media is a great way to do that these days.
Absolutely.
So I think even like in a dating context, if we could put it this way,
Yeah.
sometimes guys will say, "Oh, well, I wouldn't reach out to you because you probably have so many men that wanna speak to you to begin with."
Mm.
It's like, I don't date at all.
Yeah.
Here and there, I do, and it's not something I think about often, it's not something I prioritize as I'm so busy anyway,
Yeah.
but people automatically assume that because you're really busy or you have so much going for you, or I've had the comment said before, "You're so pretty, you have it all, like, I'm sure there's a million men at your feet." It's stupid, so
Mm.
stupid. No, there is
Oh
not.
my gosh. Yeah, I think that's a really great misconception that you're bringing up. Like, there's a lot of,
Yeah,
like, women or
I'm a
anybody out
person.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, stop assuming, like, your version of perfection is always perfect.
right.
It's always never that at all.
Oh, and if I could just go on a little side tangent
Go
here.
ahead, go take your
Oh,
time.
actually, I was just thinking about it, but I'm trying to remember. Oh, so I really wish guys specifically would approach girls like they used to.
Mhm.
And it goes back to what I was saying, that people, so many guys think that maybe this girl has a million people that want to date her. How
Yeah.
would you know if you never tried?
Okay.
I don't like the dating apps. I don't like the
Mhm.
online stuff. I want to meet someone authentically in person, genuine connection.
Okay.
So why does nobody, people, I think this generation needs to get over rejection.
Yeah.
Really, like, sometimes it's not a it's actually most of the time, it's not a personal attack on you.
Mhm.
It's just sometimes you feel something's not aligning.
Yeah.
And okay, that's great. At least it was a straightforward sign, I'm gonna move on to the next.
Yeah.
But maybe that's why the dating culture is so hard now.
Oh, dating is I've never been on a date or dated anybody,
Mhm.
but I take all of my experiences from my peers, and I'm not gonna say this is the answer to your question, but this could be part of it. It ties back to this generation of people. We have to hustle. We have
Yeah.
so much we need to do. We have to make up for like previous generations, like with money and like getting a job, because everything's way more expensive. I feel like dating is always in the back of people's minds
Yes,
and
it
talking to
is.
people. Yeah. Like it's on the back of my mind. I'm trying to get a degree. No
Yeah.
shade.
No, seriously, and
Yeah.
the dates that I have been on,
Mhm.
I end them sometimes. I don't know if it's because it's too much clutter in my mind to
Yeah.
actually commit to. I think of all the work I have, and definitely all the work you have too. You're a journalism major, you know how it goes.
Yes, absolutely.
It's sometimes, yeah, it's not our first priority. We
Mhm.
have so much going on. Sometimes I wonder, should we let way for those relationships to happen sometimes, because it brings us back to the human aspect of being able to feel. And
Yeah.
we don't know what that's like.
Yeah, we really don't. Because I feel like I feel like dating apps is kind of a quicker access to
Yes,
people. Like they just swipe left, right,
it's
left,
a
right.
transaction.
Right. It's like part of your busy day that let's say you have a little bit of free time. Let's go on Tinder. Let's see who's available, you
Right.
know?
I hate
Like
that.
it sucks. It sadly does, but at this day and age, it's like it's not a big priority to people anymore
Yeah,
to want like everyone wants to find a genuine relationship with somebody or a
yeah.
connection, but nobody wants to put in the time.
People are trying to get by before they have to meet someone, and
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that,
Mhm.
but and there are people that have met who they feel is the love of their life very young, and great for them,
Yeah.
but I have had friends in the past that kind of, like, shade me for the fact that I haven't had someone, or maybe I
Mhm.
should give this person a try or give that person a try. If I don't feel
Yeah.
it, if I'm not in the right headspace for a relationship right now, let me go back to that person if they're available when I do feel I'm in the right headspace for it.
Yeah,
It's not all our priorities at the moment. There's timing is different for everyone.
absolutely. I know Chaperone said in an interview to stop serial dating. Yeah, she got
No, she's right about
she
that.
got a little hate for that, but honestly, everything should just be
I do
dating.
agree with her on that point.
I agree too. I don't think you should just date to date. It kinda takes away the purpose of dating people,
Mhm.
like, developing a connection, like, there's this thing where people just don't wanna be single.
Oh, actually, does she mean serial dating, meaning dating multiple people at once,
Oh, no,
or
just,
just often?
let's say, like, you break up with somebody, you immediately find somebody else.
No, I don't like that. I'm the biggest advocate for you need to know who you are yourself.
Absolutely. I'm always a big advocate of you need to love yourself before you can love somebody else.
1000%.
Right.
Now, if you meant I was confused, if you meant serial dating,
Oh, no, no, no,
like
no, not multiple at
see
once.
oh, really?
I
I
don't think
actually
so.
think that's okay.
Really?
I do think
No,
it's
I'm
okay, if I could offer my perspective on
no,
that.
do it, yeah.
Um, I think dating multiple people at once, as long as you're not approaching it from a transactional perspective,
Mhm.
is okay because you are getting an idea of, "Oh, I don't like this, or maybe I don't like that."
Okay,
Sometimes
okay.
I have dated multiple people that not not
I
dating, going out
it's
with
okay,
multiple
I'm about to
people.
say I'm hearing what you're saying, but you're not putting the right word with
I'm
it.
not, yeah.
Yeah,
Going
I
out with
was
multiple
going out with
people,
multiple people,
that's
that's
okay.
very different. For
Not
me,
everybody's for it, but
yeah,
yeah.
I took serial dating as, like, let's say you immediately break up like, you break up with someone, you immediately find a new person to be with because the thought of just being alone scares you.
Right,
That's what I took with
I don't agree with that.
yeah, but yeah, like, talking to multiple people at once, that's not a bad thing, you're kinda weighing your options.
I said dating multiple people at once, didn't I?
I'm like
No, I did not
I'm
mean
like,
that.
"Maria, hey,
No, I
boo."
did not mean that. Dating meaning going out.
Going out, okay.
Okay, next topic.
I think the general consensus understands, yeah.
Yes,
I
okay.
don't I yeah, just a difference in word matters.
Yeah.
But sure, I can give you my take on when I realized I've outgrown a version of myself. Um, honestly, I think friends, like you said, is a really big thing, like people you surround yourself with. I it ties back to me wanting to be popular in high school, and when I got to college, it was just me. All of my hometown friends went to colleges 2 to 3 hours away from here, even more. So they've all had the time to develop a brand new life for themselves and do whatever they want, hang out with brand new people, while me, I'm still in college in my hometown, you know?
Mhm.
So I kinda have to make a new experience while being in the same exact environment I grew up
Right.
in, which is very difficult, and it took me a while. I remember I was on the phone with my friend Janae, love you girl, and I was just like, "I feel like everyone's moving on, and I'm still stuck in this era I was from a year ago, even before." And she was like, "It's gonna take more time for you than other people."
Yeah.
And when I heard that, because 'cause I'm the friend that loves to give advice, but never usually gets it back. So when people kinda
Yep.
tell me things I would tell them, I'm like, "Excuse me? Didn't I tell you that, like, last week?"
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but it's nice to hear advice given to you, especially because 'cause you're always that one always helping other people. And when I realized, like, yeah, it is gonna take more time for me, I broke down that barrier and I said, "You know what? My experiences are mine. What I do is my life, my everything, and stop trying to force it." Because that was also a thing I was trying to do. I was trying to force memories, force moments because, everybody wants that college experience. But
Right.
you see, I don't go to a school that really partakes in all of those
Oh, I have a question
experiences.
for you based on
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
So, was it always OU for you? Did you always want to stick close by, or did you contemplate going away?
I wanted to go away.
Okay.
This was not my first option. My initial first pick was Alma,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then it didn't work out, so I said, "Okay, Wayne State,"
Right.
or I'll be in college. Like, I had other options for me, but OU found me. I
Uh-huh.
didn't find OU, it found me. And for starters, very grateful to be here. But to answer the question, no, this was not my first
Mhm.
option. I did not want to stay close to home. I wanted to have a brand new life outside of this hometown. And when I realized I was going to end up being here, at first I was like, well, dang, what's the point? I live here.
Do you feel like you'd want to try a different location after college?
Honestly, after my 2 years of being here so far, well, I'm very
You know,
sad.
that's, like, why I brought this topic up.
Yeah.
I found that when I was wanting to transfer to different schools, like, a few years back, I
Mhm.
realized maybe it wasn't because I actually wanted to go to some conservatory for piano, I just wanted to try something new.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like you were saying, you actually are okay with being here.
Yeah. I
I This past year, I've evolved to that too.
Mhm. And honestly, it you need that year if you really
Mhm.
are. Because for me, it's like I didn't really care where I wanted to go to college after high school, but I just knew I didn't wanna be near home. But
Right.
after being here for a year, now 2, I'm like, "Wait, I'm actually okay with my life here."
Yeah,
It's a very
learning to appreciate it.
Yes, I'm very appreciative of everything. And for those who did transfer out of OU, it's your choice, it's what you wanna do, obviously. But for me, it was like, "Okay, I've already done it. I've already made a lot of connections here." Like, I now have, like, a leadway with music and journalism. Like,
Mhm.
I've already developed such great connections with the people here, the faculties, and I like what I'm doing here. I'm really making a
Yeah.
life for me here, and you're doing the same. You are running this piano department down, girl. You are
Thank you.
eating it up, and you are doing fabulous work in PR as well. Like, you're in the public relations. What's PERSA's whole thing? Do you
Mhm.
like, what's that whole acronym? Do you know it?
It's PR and advertising.
Okay, got you. And you're also now in the Be Golden magazine, right?
I was recently appointed the editor-in-chief for the
Oh,
magazine, so I will be running it starting next year. Thank you.
congratulations.
I'm really excited to take on that role because somebody I've always looked up to was Anna Wintour,
Mhm.
editor-in-chief of Vogue. I love how Vogue is organized. I read Vogue every single month that I get the new magazine. I love Harper's Bazaar, Elle, all of it.
Mhm.
And this was my first semester in the magazine actually. But
Yeah.
when I sat down for the editing session of it and being part of the PR team in there, being part of the styling team in there, I really didn't realize, even in a school magazine, how much goes into making that and the
Mhm.
campaigns that you have to keep up with on social media.
Yeah.
So I would be running the all of the divisions, basically making sure everybody's in order, making sure everything is getting accomplished by the deadline, and then once everything is submitted to the different templates, organizing everything, running social media campaigns. So if I can do a good job with that, I think it'd be
Mhm.
great because it's something I love, but also something that could be great to put on a resume.
Absolutely.
But
I
it's such a
remember
passion of mine. I love fashion, so that was
Yeah,
great for me.
and I think this topic is a really good thing for you because 'cause you're a great example of realizing you have one passion, but you also had another,
Yeah.
and now you realize you can kinda put 2 and 2 together.
Mhm.
When did you realize, like, you could do piano and PR?
Well, it started off as making piano a minor, which was last semester. That's why I
Yeah.
wasn't in choir last semester.
Yeah.
So, but then I realized, okay, I still love piano. I worked so hard last semester in piano despite being a minor, and I was thinking to myself, I only have a few more classes to go. Why in the heck did I make this a minor?
Mhm.
So, I decided to double major, and this entire semester I realized I really don't think I will ever be doing one particular job. I love so
Mhm.
many different things, but all of those things lead back to a creative path
Yeah.
because I was doing some contemplation within the past few weeks, realizing everything I like, every different career avenue that I've partaken in and enjoyed, it was because there was some kind of creative aspect to it. And I
Mhm.
thought more back to my childhood, actually. I was always immersed in the arts as a
Yeah.
child. I started piano very young. my grandfather, actually both my grandfathers were musicians,
Mhm.
and always taught me different things about music. My grandma brought over the movie Annie when I was really young. I loved the music in the movie. Uh, what was another thing? And I drew a lot. My grandma got me into drawing a lot, and reflecting on the things that I used to do and maybe stepped away from as I got older
Mhm.
that I'm now back to make me
Yeah.
realize I could not do something that doesn't involve art.
Mhm. Yeah, and honestly, I just what you're doing is really cool because you don't typically hear about a pianist who's really, like, into fashion. If that's true, I don't know,
Yeah,
not
a
my
lot of them
field.
were not.
Yeah, like, you're definitely creating a very new era, a new space for creativity, and I applaud you, honestly,
Thank you.
because you did piano, like, when I first met you, you were strictly piano, and we had that conversation of, "Do we want this as our lives?" And the answer is, "Yes, we do."
Mhm.
But there's other things that we can do to kinda satisfy what we wanna do with our passions, and I think that's a part of evolving our
Yep.
topic.
Yes, look at how it all connects
Yes,
back.
it all ties back to each other.
Mhm.
Because when I did journalism, because I'm a first year journalism major, second year student, um, I was like, okay, I still want to sing, obviously.
Yeah.
Just music school itself was very difficult for me. So I auditioned for Gold Vibrations, an a cappella group here.
Yes.
I made it
Such
in.
a good group.
That was one of the best experiences of my life. That's one of the best decisions I've made. I've made nothing but amazing decisions. It took a while to get to certain decisions, but it always ended up working out just fine. And I really found my people in acapella, and Pitch Perfect is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Such a good movie. So
So freaking
funny.
good. And I'm so glad I get to make that my life. And
Yeah.
I did university chorus. That's
Which is also still so great.
it's so good, and I we did symphony chorus together,
Mhm.
and I'm also a jazz singer.
Yeah.
I do
Jazz singers, those concerts are great.
yes, I love performing, and that is something that will never be taken away from me if I really care enough to do so, and I'm glad we both found our happy mediums and
Mhm.
that we both realized, "Okay, it may not work out at first, but we'll always
Right.
come back to our passions, and I think that's a really big part of evolving.
Mhm.
Realize that you can find that good middle
Yeah.
ground. Yeah.
I think it all involves rewiring your mindset and how you approach the different things you're involved in. I felt like piano consumed me a lot because it did. I was practicing a lot because I
Yeah.
was a major, and also there was a lot of pressure to when we had a bigger program, when we had a lot of master's students in our program, it was always this fight for who was going to be able to play in the guest master class or who there were
Mhm.
so many people, who was going to be able to perform in the recital. There was
Yeah.
now I don't think we were ever competitive with each other. We never had that type of environment actually, which was great because we were all great friends. But sometimes there is a little bit of a fight when there's a lot of people involved. Am I
Yeah.
going to be able to perform? Well, only if I play to their standards am I going to be
Yeah.
able to. So I think that's a normal feeling. Any field you're in, it's very competitive at times, but it really did take a toll on me mentally.
Yeah, talk about it.
I started to get a bit more involved again in competitions within the past few years, ever since being in college.
Mhm.
I did competitions when I was really young, and I did well in them because I didn't necessarily realize the pressure that was on me.
Yeah.
Being older and recognizing the pressure that is competitions, it made me panic so much. I hate
Mhm.
competitions. I always will. I will always hate them so much because there are times where you feel your artistic expression is limited because you can't play wrong notes. In a performance,
Yeah.
I really don't feel that way. I step up there and I say to myself, I've done everything I can to prepare. If it doesn't go the way I want, oh well, I'm going to play my heart out on this piece.
Yeah,
And that's all I can do. Nobody else in the audience really knows if you mess up sometimes.
absolutely.
For a jury, they do because it's only professors. But
Mhm.
I don't feel that pressured by my professors because we're all such great friends and they're so sweet.
Yeah, I do recall a time where I went in I saw a piano recital, I saw you play, and I was like, "Ooh," that was my introduction to seeing your work, and I remember I came up to you and I said, "You did really well," and you was like, "Oh, okay."
I wonder what piece that was that I played.
Well, you did a couple, so I forgot.
Oh, yeah, it was last semester then.
It was last year, actually. It was like
Was it?
I think it was last winter. Did you have a recital in the winter?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, winter
I don't remember what I
25.
played though. I think it might have been
No,
I played the
2024.
entire Bach partita, I
I
think.
believe
Oh,
that's what it
that was
was.
such a nightmare.
I said, "Oh my gosh," because me and my friend Debbie, we went and saw you. We were like, "Maria, you did so
Oh,
good." And you
I
was
do
like,
remember you guys being there, I just don't remember what I played.
"You'll just," yeah. And that's why the school of music theater dance, like, we all just give piano majors their flowers because
Aw,
you guys live in the practice rooms.
I do.
There were multiple times where me and Debbie were like, "Maria, have you eaten today? Have you
Yeah,
went
Debbie would
outside?"
always ask me that.
Yeah, we would be just so worried about you because you would just
Oh.
leave the piano practice room just like,
Now that I have
"Well,
PR though,
yeah.
I'm not that way anymore.
Yeah,
I
okay."
practice smarter, not harder.
Yeah, because you did go through a period of time where you just practiced a lot.
Yeah.
Didn't something happen with your
Yes,
hands?
I actually had to go to the hand doctor.
Yeah.
I was getting nerve problems because of how much I was
Yeah.
mostly in my pinkies and my thumbs, just
Mhm.
over practicing too much, overexerting myself that when I would touch a key, I'd get shooting pains through my entire arm.
Jeez, that would be frustrating. But that was during a time
But
where
I was overworking myself.
mhm.
What did I expect?
Yeah, this was a period of time where you didn't find that happy medium, you didn't, like, evolve yet, you were still, like, in that place where you were.
Mhm.
But after, like, you did PR and you realized you were practicing too much and now you need to, like, take a break, it's like, "Okay, everything's
Mhm.
falling into place," you know?
Oh, I wanted to ask you this question because I just
Sure.
did a project on this.
Mhm,
I had a class this semester, persuasion. It's
mhm.
a communications class that I took as an elective,
Okay.
and the professor was one of the best professors I have ever had at this school. And the topic was very interesting because persuasion applies to anybody's life. How can you persuade someone to think the way you think, or
Mhm.
maybe see this opinion in a different light, a different view? Um, but I had to create a campaign at the end for my final project, which I chose how the arts positively impacts mental health and why the average person should include them more. And I included many studies that were done. And I feel like a lot of people outside of the arts don't necessarily prioritize how healthy it is to cope with your problems with
Mhm.
art. What not even just music,
Absolutely,
whether it's
yeah.
visual arts like painting, drawing, sculpting, or listening to different types of music that you wouldn't normally listen to and thinking about it, journaling, poetry, anything.
Mhm.
Um, so how do you think any type of art has made you evolve as a person? And could you pinpoint what those exact arts are?
Okay, sure. Well, I would firstly like to say if you're any sort of arts major where it's like performance, visual, anything, I applaud you
Yeah,
because there are multiple people in your life that will say you're wasting your time
that's
doing
like
that.
all the time we hear that.
Yeah, like a lot of people give art majors so much flack because we're majoring in something that we are passionate about and what we want to do. And honestly, like I said, I applaud you because we're both arts majors. We're both majoring in our passions and what we love, and I think that's already a happy thing within itself. So, for anyone who's choosing their major, choose your passion always. Yes, making money is important, but being happy is also just as important. So I'm gonna put that out there. Now, times where the arts has like, what was the question? I didn't understood, but
Just
like,
how you feel you've evolved as a person positively because you've been involved in the
all
arts.
right. So I've done choir since 7th grade. Um, at first, I didn't get choir. Like, it was my first time I actually sang in a real choir. And I was, it was the first time I experienced different kinds of singers, performing patterns, and my choir director, the amazing, lovely Kevin Cornwell. I love you so much.
Oh,
Um,
he was your choir director?
yes, he
Oh,
was.
okay. I've heard of him because Dr. Mitchell talks about him all the time.
Yeah, and
Wasn't that his student?
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah, and yeah, because his son Kevin Cornwell II, he did OU music program as well.
Oh,
Yeah, and now he's living it up in California, getting his master's.
wow, good for him.
Congratulations. Yeah. But yeah, I had Kevin Cornwell as my choir director, and he's amazing. But I didn't get it at first. I didn't get him and his teaching style. A lot of us didn't. And it took me to realize he's just very passionate about his job and he wants his passion to translate over to us. So a lot of people did leave his choir 8th grade year. I was the ones who didn't leave because I'm like, okay, he's a lot, but he's a lot for a reason, you know? Like he's really passionate. And with his passion, it made me realize, okay, I can do it too. And going into high school, I was very nervous about like sticking out. I was always afraid of, like, singing louder than other people. I didn't wanna, like, stick out like a sore thumb, because you know, like, in a choir, if you're like that, it means you're doing something wrong. But
Right.
but then my he just kept telling me, "No, you're in the right place. You're amazing. Just sing out more."
Mhm.
And I was always afraid. I was like, "No, I'm gonna stick out. People are gonna think I'm gonna sound bad." And he's like, "No, you're not." And I took that energy and I took it to college with me. Because when I joined university course, I was very nervous because, you know, Dr. Mitchell, he's a big deal. He still
Yeah.
is. He's
Oh, he
amazing,
is.
but he's a very big deal. And it's like you kind of want to impress him. You want to show like what you can do. And as a freshman, in a typical college setting, I'm like, no one's gonna really look at me. I'm just a little freshman. I'm just gonna get by. But he told me on the very first day that I'm gonna be a star. And
Hearing that from him, wow.
yeah, and, like, he's like, I didn't even open my mouth to sing yet. I mean, obviously, he's heard me because I auditioned for the program,
Mhm.
but to walk in on the first day and just sit down and just get ready to perform, and he just tells you you're gonna be a star, I'm like, "OMG. Hello? Hi." It
I
was a
love him.
He's amazing. I love working with him, and just being in choir overall, it just boosts my energy because it kinda, like, reassures my passion in what I'm doing, and when I switched over to journalism, I ended up doing podcasts like these, I end up interviewing people and writing news stories, like,
Mhm.
stuff like that is really fulfilling, it's really fun to do, and it makes me happy. Art is supposed to make you happy. I
Yeah.
do believe in the term art is supposed to be suffering. That is also
That is
true.
also very,
Very
very true.
true. Whether it's visual, performance, anything. You're supposed to tell a story with your art. It's expressive. And I think everyone should be free to express themselves in any way. Like you can be a STEM major, but I still
Mhm.
think you should have some sort of art or expression in your life to keep yourself balanced.
I hate to interrupt you, but if
Go
there's a
ahead.
point I could bring up,
Yeah.
for anyone listening to this podcast, maybe not involved in the arts as a major or at all,
Yeah.
I really, really encourage you to not look down on people that choose this as their path. It might not make sense because of the financials. We completely understand the statements that say, "Oh, you're not living in reality. You're not gonna be able to pay your bills." We think about that a lot. But
Absolutely.
at the same time, if I could, like, bring an instance up that I think about, my grandfather who played clarinet, flute, saxophone. He worked at, what he it was, some car company.
Oh,
He worked for the autos, I'll say
I
that.
thought you were gonna say GM.
No, he didn't. I don't think he worked for GM. He worked for Borg Warner for a
Okay.
very long
Borg
time.
Warner, okay,
That was
yeah.
what he did, but he also was in a band that played for years and years and years. That's actually how he met my grandma. At a
Oh,
wedding, he was performing and met her. Well, anyway,
wow.
I just really want to encourage people to think a bit more openly about the ways that we immerse ourselves in art and what it means to some people. I don't think it should be anything tied to politics whatsoever. I think it's purely just some people really resonate with that state of being in which they can express themselves so heavily. I personally receive such a high off of moments like we experienced this past weekend at in the orchestra hall, being
Mhm.
part of such a large choir with a large orchestra.
Mhm.
There are moments like that you truly cannot put into words or recreate that impact you for the rest of your life. And yes, finances are important, Times are tough, and
Yeah,
we have to understand that sometimes there are things we need to do to get by. But art really is more important, I think, than people realize.
absolutely.
So you can continue what you're
Yeah,
saying.
let me add on to that. It's kind of diminishing when you're already kind of putting down somebody for what they want. Like, what if they're really good at it, you know?
Yeah.
You never know. That's why people major in their passion because they see themselves with the future of what they're doing. And
Mhm.
I believe people belong in any field that they need to be in their respectively fields. Like, I feel like there's journalists like me that should be put in that field. There's pianists and PR people like you. Like, there's it can be tailor made for anybody.
Mhm.
You know, like I wasn't what if I wasn't meant to be a STEM major? I would probably be terrible at it because
Right.
I don't think I would have the facilities to do that. And I don't want to kind of force myself to do something like that too because of the money it makes. I want to major in something I know I'm gonna be
Right.
good at. And
Oh, like, here's something I could think of if I could just
yeah,
speak
go
on
ahead,
this.
go ahead.
Um, I was we had these different pathways in high school
Yeah.
that we could learn about and take classes in before we got to college to see if that was a fit for us.
Yeah.
I had so many people tell me, especially my accounting professor,
Hmm.
"You are so good at this. You should major in accounting. You get it. You just know." Did I have that instinct? Well, yes, because maybe I was always good at math
Yeah.
for some odd reason. I was
Hey,
such a math person,
it works
but
out for
I
you.
didn't love math. I didn't
Mhm.
care for it. I always liked history a lot, and I
Mhm.
loved, uh, any type of language arts classes
Yeah.
and writing. I could not it doesn't matter that I was so good at math, like people were saying. I didn't want anything to do with it.
Mhm.
And sometimes now there are some people that can adapt to what they're good at and learn to like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm necessarily that person though.
Yeah. And it ties back to I'm saying like, yeah, you're good at math, but is that something you necessarily want to do? No. And I feel like you don't have to
Yeah.
because it's not your passion. And I just that's why my thing is major in your passion, point blank period, no matter what.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, it's your life and what you want to do for yourself, what makes you happy. And once again, I'm very grateful that we're doing something that we like to do. And it definitely impacts our experience in college.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing stuff that you like, you get that motivation. Yes, academics are still tough. It's college.
Yeah.
But you can kind of bypass that when you're doing things you're passionate and that you love.
Yeah.
So, and
It's
it
the fuel that continues to push you.
absolutely, yeah. And like with my full year of journalism, I've learned so much about myself and my creativity, and that possibilities are endless in journalism. Like there's so much audio and visual stuff that I still want to grow and evolve in. And now that I have the time and space to do so, that's more than anything amazing because I thought I could just limit myself to just being a singer
Mhm.
and just just sing for the rest of my life. Although that is something I do want to do, I didn't want that center focus.
Right.
I wanted to kind of expand my creative brain in the arts and the fact that like there's so many art majors here at Oakland and that you are free to have that space. The graphic designers here, the art majors,
My sister is a graphic design major at Lawrence Tech. I cannot believe the
I
stuff they create.
I know so many graphic design majors here. Their work is phenomenal. I love that for them.
And the software they use,
Yeah.
the I don't think people realize necessarily what graphic design is.
Mhm.
It's it's people think it's, "Oh, it's a logo. I can build that on Canva." No. These
No.
people have the most intricate work. It's all Adobe software. I have watched my sister do projects. I genuinely it's like rocket science to me how these
Yeah.
programs work.
See?
I don't think graphic designers are ever looked
No.
at as like a main path to pursue a
Mhm.
major in, but oh my god, they deserve so much more credit than they get.
And that's where like any art major here. Our work is not easy. It may look easy in comparison to what you do, but it's not.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to the not trying to degrade people for things they like.
Mhm.
I always got those comments entering college for piano. "Oh, at least your classes you just get to play, and it's so fun for you." Okay, you can say that, And I won't hate on you for saying that, but at the same
Mhm.
time, people don't necessarily understand how intricate, like,
Yeah.
classical music is.
Like, you're not just doing
Oh,
piano
it is
classes.
not just playing for a jury. I have to spend so many hours a day learning it, making the correct dynamic changes, memorizing it, and actually projecting it in a way that expresses my take on it as opposed to some other recording that I'm just
Right?
trying to copy. There's so much to learn within every single career path, so
Yeah.
don't diminish music
Right.
because it's and let me just say, like, I had an advisor that was when I was a business major, actually, because I was a marketing major at one point.
Mhm.
She was saying her son went to U of M majoring in, like, some kind of engineering it was, and also he was a music major. And
Jeez.
some of the classes that he took, he was saying, I like, engineering's hard. Let's not try to say it's not. It's
Yeah.
so, so hard,
Yeah.
incredibly hard. But he was saying that some of his math classes are not necessarily as hard as music theory. And I had to take music
Mhm.
theory all the way up to 4, I have to take extended. So people don't necessarily assume it's easy
Yeah.
and tell people that you should be getting through it because it's easy because you don't know what
Right.
goes into it. You
Right.
really don't know.
I did a year of music. I'm not doing music anymore. It's because the
It's tough.
classes is hard. It's tough. You have to be willing and ready to do it. And yeah, like when people be like, I'm a music major, they're like, oh, you get to sing all day. That's half the
Okay.
battle. That is,
Yeah.
that's like a good, what, 20% of your
Actually,
day?
I would say 10.
Okay.
The end product,
Yeah.
10%.
It's literally 80, 90% academics, work, studying, outside time,
Research
research
papers. Oh my
papers,
god.
and then there's singing. Singing is kind of like the end product of what
Yeah.
you do. Like you have to go through so much stuff just to get to sing beautifully at the end of it. Like, yes, you're majoring in your passion, but there's more to your passion than what you probably know, you know?
Yes.
Like for me, I was kind of blindsided with music. I thought I was gonna be like at Hollywood Arts, like Victorious.
Right,
I thought
yeah.
I was gonna be singing and like learning instruments and all that other stuff. But then when I realized no, like you have to do your music theory, your oral skills, your Western tonal, your vocal techniques, all of that. There's so much that goes into it. I was severely unprepared for that.
I had no idea that that much went into it, and on top of it, why do you think that this is one of the industries that so many people end up alcoholics or drug addicts? Because it is
Ooh.
so grueling and people don't realize it, or they think people in that industry are crazy, and so they just resort to drugs and alcohol because of it. No, like, they are being pushed beyond the human limits at
Yes.
times, whether it's touring or just exploring different genres and trying to make something of it. The recording sessions, the recording hours,
Right?
there's a reason why so many people in that industry die young because of drugs and alcohol, and it's not often discussed enough.
Mhm.
Sometimes people resort to those means because they feel it's going to help them, and then all of a sudden they're in too deep, and it's very unfortunate that it happens, but there is a reason why it happens, and
Mhm.
it's because it's grueling, and for somebody to assume it's not because it's easier than this or it's easier than that, I think that's a really horrible accusation to make, actually.
Mhm.
Everybody has I think every major is difficult in its own way. I could never go to medical school, I could never be an
Absolutely.
engineer.
Okay.
It's not something I am passionate about, but also, it's really damn hard
Absolutely.
to be an
It's
attorney. Everything is hard in a different way.
yeah. And it ties back to when I said art is suffering. Like, there's so much that goes into what looks easy to one person.
Yes.
Like for you, like for an art major, I could paint a picture, be like, do 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 do. Look
Yeah.
at me, I'm drawing a picture. But to them, it's so much more. They have to decipher what's on the page. We got different colors, like graphic patterns. Like there's so much that goes
Yeah.
into it. And it's frustrating when you see people diminish people's art and people's like passion because it looks easy to you. And like, no, like music, no.
No.
Music school
I
is
will scream
not
that from the top of
easy.
my lungs till the day I
We
die.
have a 3 to 4 year music major. You're talking to one. I'm talking to one right now. She can tell you it's not
No,
easy.
I can tell you right now listen, I know PR and advertising is not it's definitely not meant to be the most grueling major or seen
It's
that
not
way.
intense, you
I
know?
mean, it kind of depends on the classes you're in, to be totally honest,
Yeah.
but generally speaking, it's not viewed as one of those majors that's the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Now, I would argue it depends what you put into it, the
Mhm.
projects that you're doing especially.
Yeah.
But and I have only been in the major not too long, but I can confidently say 1000%. This is not trying to put my PR people down here at all.
Mhm.
Just so far, my music major has been hell in
Mhm.
workload compared to PR.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so much harder.
Yeah. I mean,
PR,
yeah.
you always have to, I think what's difficult about it, you always have to bring something new to the table. There's a
Mhm.
different creativity behind it when it comes to the fact that you always have to be writing press releases or articles if you're a reporter for some outlet, or you're proposing a new campaign, especially then you have to have really creative ideas. I think
Yeah.
that's the challenge, is like the creative burnout. How do I come up with something new when
Yeah.
I'm too exhausted to realize the options that I've already proposed? So there's challenges within everything. But
Mhm.
let me tell you, that music major, I'm
Mhm.
so surprised that I'm actually going to be graduating with it because it was
Hon
so hard.
no, like, at my in my time, like, as a music major, you would be completing your final semester of music theory. That's if you
Yeah.
do it normally. Now, I do know people that are still in theory 1, 2, 3s. Get it together. You're doing your thing, period. But, like, normally, there's people who are finishing up their last semester of theory right now, and I'm just being their biggest cheerleader. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Get through it,
Good
you
for
got
them.
this,
Yeah.
because I couldn't do it, so I want you to do it." And that's with anyone who's in Theories 1, 2, and 3. Keep going with it. Do it. I know you want to do it. I know I couldn't do it, but that's me. You're you, and you're choosing to continue with this journey. And I wanna, like, push my peers to just go with it, get through it. You got this, because it's not an easy thing to get
No.
through. There are times when people had to repeat it more than once. I think you said you repeated theory, not theory, was it oral
Oral
skills?
skills.
Oral skills, yeah.
So theory actually, I don't want to say it came easy, but it was more second nature because
I mean,
when you take piano lessons your whole life, your teachers actually give you a lot of homework related to music theory. So I did have a background in it for
yeah,
most of my
yeah.
life. And it did come a bit more natural. Oral skills, on the
Oral
other hand,
skills, yeah.
that was such a hard thing for me to
See, we're
go through.
different
Yes.
because I'm a vocalist, so hearing things by ear comes way more natural to me than reading it
Mm.
on the paper. So
Oh, for anyone listening, oral skills is not like ORAL, not
yeah,
AURAL.
AURAL.
And it's ear training. So you have to identify the difference in intervals between pitches. You have to hear a melody and write it down, like what you heard on the staff. You
Mhm.
have to be able to identify different rhythms that you heard, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I mean, I have heard most vocal majors say that they are more accustomed to it because you're listening for that when you sing often.
Absolutely, yeah.
I was not equipped for that at all. I failed oral skills too, actually.
Yeah,
I had to retake it over the summer.
it's very stereotypical
I
for
really tried so hard to.
instrumentalists to be more great at theory than vocalists and vice versa. There's times where it doesn't happen. You can be
Yeah,
good at both,
it's
but
really unique, but I would say overall, like, I do know a lot of pianists that have struggled with oral skills if they did not have perfect pitch. Like,
yeah.
it's just, I don't know. A lot of teachers don't teach it.
Mhm.
We don't really learn solfege that often unless you were involved in
And see,
choir.
that was all
So
I've learned,
when
which
I
was
stepped into oral
solfege.
skills, everybody was familiar with solfege. I'm like, I have to really think about what the scale is on the way down. Now
Yeah.
it's like I
Now
don't
it's
even
like
think
whatever
about it.
you did it
So
already, you're done with it.
oh
Yeah.
my god.
You're on are you are you, like, done with your piano performance, or is there a little bit more you have to
No,
do?
I do have quite a bit more. I have conducting 1 and 2 next year.
Okay.
Piano repertoire.
Okay.
What else? Mm, and then, like, 1 more semester of chamber, but that's really about it, and then I
Yeah.
continue with lessons.
Mhm.
So oh, and then choir. I'll
Yeah.
still be in choir. And that's about it, really.
But that sounds like you're reaching the end of your
Yes,
major,
I
like
am.
that stuff where it's like, okay, you've done all of this stuff. Now let's see what you can do.
Yeah.
And honestly, how do you feel about that?
It feels like such a weight off of my chest
Because I was gonna
because
say you're reaching the end of like your time here at Oakland. Like, how's
I
that going for
am.
you?
Um, it's kind of scary in a way because I have always been somebody that's really enjoyed learning and loving school.
Hmm.
So it makes me question, do I want to jump into a master's immediately?
Yeah.
My intro to PR professor, Channing Sue, I hope she's listening to this. I love her so much. She was kind of encouraging maybe like just get as many internships as you can for PR before you leave and work in the field for quite a bit, and
Yeah.
then you can go back to get your master's. That's probably the smartest route. And I would agree with her. PR is one of
Yeah.
those things you have to be out in the workforce. You have to get
Right.
established before you choose something like a master's degree to boost your salary or just to further your research. But yeah, but I think it's gonna be kind of a shift for me. I've always loved school. I did have to add an extra year, so I will be graduating with you because PR, every time there was a class offered, there was a
Hmm.
piano class at the exact same time.
Mm.
And as you know, music classes are not offered over the summer. Neither are PR because they're really understaffed.
Yeah.
So my last 2 years are gonna be a little bit lighter, thank God.
Hmm.
I can chill a bit. So I'm gonna try to get an internship every single semester before I
Hmm.
leave,
Yeah.
and that should help me out by the time I graduate. But um, what was I gonna say about that? Yeah, I got an internship this summer, so I'm really thank you. So
Congratulations.
I'm really excited to start working in PR officially.
Yeah.
And then besides that, um, what I'm really nervous for is the concerto I will be playing this fall. I This is my first piano
Mm.
concerto ever,
Oh
actually,
my
and I'm playing
goodness.
Rachmaninoff for
Oh
my
my
first. For
gosh.
anyone that doesn't know, Rachmaninoff wrote really, really big stuff for piano. I mean, he had such a large hand span because he was so ridiculously tall, and the chords are so big. The drama is so intense, and my professors were even saying you might want to start working out to prepare yourself for that one because
Mm.
it's just really tough.
Mhm.
So why am I playing that for my first concerto? Well, because I love it, but also I don't know. I'm just nuts. I'm apparently nuts,
Yeah,
but
and it's okay.
it is okay. But I need to really lock in for
Yeah.
that. Can't
Yeah.
miss a day of practicing.
Remember yourself, don't overdo it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But for me, so I'm only in my second year of college, so I have a long way to go. But I would say doing music freshman year in journalism now, my brain has been opened up a lot more. Like in choir, my sight reading has gotten better because of my year of music. I'm way more confident in my abilities now. Like where I stood for symphony chorus, I was a tenor one. I was standing next to a tenor two,
Mhm.
and we had our children's choir from Lake Orion High School. They're not even children, but you get the point.
Yeah,
I was standing next to them. I wasn't standing next to other tenors. I was standing next to the children. And on the other side of me was just altos.
yeah.
So I had to kind of lean on myself and my understanding of the music. And that definitely pushed me a lot more. And standing next to a tenor too, I kind of had to lock in on my sight reading skills or else it would have been terrible.
I kind
And
of feel you on that because I
yeah,
was also like the end of the alto section, hearing so many tenors. I'm like, okay,
yeah, there were
keep
times.
remember your part, sing what
Yeah.
you know.
I remember I was standing in behind you at dress rehearsal, and
Mm.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, I hope I don't sing this girl's ear off."
No, you didn't. You sounded great though.
Thank you, because I just yeah, it's a lot, but I'm glad that I took my skills from my 1 year of music and I get to apply it to what I do from now on. Like with vocal techniques, that was my favorite class because as a
What teaches
vocalist,
that?
Nicole Joseph taught that
Okay.
to me. I know there's other teachers, but Nicole Joseph taught me that.
Mhm.
And she was amazing. I learned so much from her. And I learned a lot about my voice and how much I need to take care of it. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like a given, take care of your voice, but now you know, like, with the effects of not doing so and, like, what's going on in your throat exactly and how you're singing and what's producing inside your throat, like, all that, that's amazing to hear. Like, I
Mhm.
think my eyes was, like, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed every class. I was always like, "Wow," because
Yeah.
you learn something new every day, and with
Mhm.
that class, I was truly like, "What are we gonna talk about this time?"
Mhm.
And I look forward to that. And I kinda do miss it. I do miss, like, learning about my voice and all of that, but, I'm very happy with where I am right now, and I have 2 more years, hopefully, of
Yeah.
journalism, and I hope I can expand on that and become way better at audio and visual,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm very grateful with where I am right now, and I'm sure you're grateful for where you are right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really big thing when it comes to evolving
Yep.
into the person you are. Like, you kinda have to go through some sort of hardship or
Oh,
some sort
definitely.
of like, "Okay, I'm at a really dark space right now. What is going on with me?"
Mhm.
And freshman year, yeah, that was my dark space. I
Oh,
Yeah.
I have a thought.
Mhm.
So, this is something I've been thinking about often. I have friends this is my piece of advice, I guess, one of
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
I have so many different friends from so many different backgrounds. Some friends are very well off, some are just really struggling to get by.
Mhm.
And my advice for succeeding in whatever you choose to do is to actually come back to more of a human perspective in understanding people, like I was mentioning earlier. Surround yourself with different people, hear different stories, and that will help you come to back to reality a bit. But also, my advice to those who maybe don't understand the struggle as much, you need to create some sort of struggle. I think you cannot reach your full potential if you do not understand what it's like to struggle.
Mhm.
And whether that's speaking financially or not, may living below your means. Sometimes it's really hard for our generation.
Yeah.
Just trying to create a scenario for yourself in which you're not placing yourself above others because of some situation that you come from. Like very often that is sometimes financial. Like you don't understand what it's like to struggle or to not have your parents pay for you. You have to
Mhm.
create some kind of situation
Yeah.
where you come back to earth a bit and realize that you should put everything you have into that passion of yours to not just achieve your goals, but to better the people around you. How will that impact people around you?
Yeah, I think you're kinda, like, saying, like, have empathy in a way,
Oh,
for sure.
totally.
Empathy is a really big thing when it comes
I
to
think it's really
evolving and
gone
growing. Yeah,
nowadays.
and I think people lack empathy, and that's why people don't really grow or evolve into the person they should become because you're so caught up in your own world and what's going on in your life, you kinda
Yeah,
forget there's people around you who aren't having the same life as you, they're probably doing,
right.
like, worse than you, and you kinda need to see from their perspective why they are not living like you, honestly. Like, because 'cause you're used to, like, being around people who are exactly like you,
Right.
but then there's
Yeah.
that person next to you who's going through something completely different than you, and then you're like, "Why? What's going
Mhm.
on? How did you end
Oh,
up
like
here?"
here's something that happened one time. I was out with a friend of mine who comes from a similar background that I did and also really loves fashion. Except I didn't really appreciate the remark she was making at one time where she was saying, "Oh, look," like we were at school actually, and she was just kind of saying, "Oh, that outfit is horrible." And it wasn't some eccentric outfit like you may think from hearing that statement. It was actually just somebody dressed down a bit more and like in my opinion to that, as somebody who's really into fashion, people often make the assumption that because I like to dress well, I judge other people for it, and that could
Mhm.
not be further from the truth.
Yeah.
I like to dress up because it makes me put my best foot forward, and I feel I do better because of it. I love to express myself in different outfits, but once again, going back to empathy, to
Yeah.
make an assumption about somebody because of the way they dress
Yeah.
is honestly being a horrible human being. You really
Mhm.
don't know what people are going through.
Yeah.
That may be the best outfit for someone. Maybe they have really long days and they
Absolutely.
can't bear to be in some outfit that you feel they should be dressed in. that's not how we should be viewing people.
Yeah.
And also oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I assume, like, you dressed well, that's because you dress well. Because when I first entered the music program, I saw nothing but cute outfits from
Aw.
everybody, especially you, and I'm like, "Okay, maybe I need to step it up a bit," but then when
No,
I
no.
yeah, I
You wear what you feel comfortable with.
absolutely, and it took me a minute too, and that tied into why I felt like I didn't belong in the program because I feel like I didn't dress the parts. Because everybody always came in with their best outfits on, but then I realized I'm not like these people. I'm just here to just be here, and I started dressing down more, and I've dressed more to my comfort, and I feel I'm much more happier, but yeah, don't make assumptions.
I think people that do judge because they may dress better than somebody else in their eyes is lacking empathy entirely.
For me, you don't know what that person
You
has in their
have no
closet.
idea. Yeah,
They probably have the prettiest outfit ever, but they're choosing not to wear it that day.
right.
But you're choosing to wear all of your good outfits right now.
Mhm.
Like, I do believe you can run out of good outfits. You can
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
always.
Yeah, you just put on what's left in your closet, but that's I'm not assuming you don't have that much clothes, but you can have clothes, but do you have outfits?
Right.
Right?
That takes some strategy, that takes some
Mhm.
creativity.
No, because I remember there's a stereotype of, like, when girls have too much clothes, I'm like, "Yes, they have a lot of clothes, but do they have outfits?"
That is so important because there's this one fashion influencer I follow, and I think her name is, like, Alicia something. I don't
Mhm.
remember her name, but I follow her on TikTok,
Yeah.
and now she is the pinnacle of fashion. She is so creative in her outfits, and I don't typically go that creative. I try to be a bit more experimental, but she fashion is art, point
Yes.
blank, period.
Fashion is
And
art,
and
absolutely.
she was saying about this, she said, "If you need to tell yourself something to stop yourself from buying so many clothes, your outfits are not coming together because you lack creativity. So let that be your motivation for not buying more clothes. You have
Mhm.
enough clothes. I don't care what you think, you have enough clothes.
Right.
You're just not being creative enough in how you put them together."
Mhm. And that also ties with, like, empathy. It's like a person shops at the thrift store,
Mhm.
right? And
Which I also do.
right? And thrift store clothes are cute because
Mhm.
one man's trash is another person's treasure.
Mhm.
Like, someone could think that shirt is ugly. I can make couture.
Right.
I could probably take it apart and make a whole outfit out of it. Like, fashion, like you said, is art. You can do so much with fashion. If you know how to sew, if you know how to put things together, you can make your own clothes. There's nothing wrong with making your own clothes
Yeah.
because it's an original. It's what you do. It's your version of yourself in your clothing. And that's why I'm a big advocate on, like, dress however you want, do what makes you happy, because how you express yourself adds comfort to yourself.
Yeah.
And fashion can also motivate you. Like, there was someone in high school who always dressed really well my freshman year, and she kinda made me wanna up my fashion a little bit.
And that's really important too. We all
Mhm.
have those people that we see outside wherever that is, and you think to yourself, "Oh, I wanna do something like that next year."
Right? And
That
it's
was really interesting what she did with her outfit.
and it's okay to be inspired. You
Yes.
can have inspirations. Like, obviously, copycatting is another thing, but if you're
Mhm.
inspired and you kinda wanna I would say do your own take of that
Yes, I don't
fashion.
think you should replicate
Yeah,
entirely.
and it's like because obviously I love RuPaul's Drag Race, and
Oh, okay. I've
I
watched a few times, but I have not kept up with it, but very
mhm.
creative ideas right here.
Yeah, and, like, there was a thing where, like, drag queens are like, "We are supposed to inspire other people's fashion," because the typical drag queen knows how to sew and put their
Right.
own costumes and clothes, hair, all that together, and you don't need all the money, you just
Oh,
need to
no.
have the skills.
Yes.
Like, if you have the skills, anything can come naturally to you. Like, if you can make, like, a piece of cloth on a table couture, as you should, right?
Yeah.
And if you have attention to detail, that's also equally just as important.
You know, RuPaul wrote a book, and when I was in on spring break, I went to the library, and I didn't pick the book up. I don't remember what it was. It was something about RuPaul on creativity
Yeah.
and his take on it and everything. And I want to pick that book up now that you
Mhm.
brought this up
Yeah.
because if there's anybody that's into creativity, it's the people that wear the most out of box outfits.
Absolutely.
People think I think people don't put enough emphasis on the fact that fashion is art, and art is not always supposed to make you comfortable. It's not something like Dr. Mitchell
Absolutely.
says all the time. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's meant to make people uncomfortable. Sometimes like somebody I've been really into lately as inspiration was David Bowie. Always
Mm.
listen to his music, but in
Ooh.
Berlin's musical cultures lately, the class I'm taking, we actually watched a documentary on him, and I mean, what an eccentric person.
Mhm.
People look at him and they sometimes think, "How odd. He was so peculiar. Why would anybody dress like that?" Well, it's
Right?
because it's supposed to push the human condition.
Right.
You can't always wear what you think looks good, or sometimes people do think more expressive ideas like that make you look good. It just it's not for everyone.
Mhm.
But if I compare him to somebody another artist I really like Elvis,
Yeah.
completely different artist. I would
Mhm.
actually argue, and this is not putting Elvis down at all. I love Elvis. One of my
Mhm.
faves. He was an entertainer. He was a hunk. Let's like the songs he sang were not generally written by him.
Yeah.
He was there to put on the show. The girls loved him.
Absolutely.
What an incredible stage presence that man had. Like no other in history.
Mhm.
But you can't compare him and say that he's better than David Bowie or he's less than David Bowie. They're two different very different people.
Yeah.
David Bowie was somebody that wanted to experiment with music and push its limits on what was originally created in music. He wanted to do something that was a bit different and that made listeners maybe he wanted to make them uncomfortable, but he wanted to provide variety from what people were hearing on the radio.
Yeah.
And that was definitely so in the way he dressed. People didn't like it necessarily
Right.
because he would cross dress very often,
Mhm.
or he had different stage personas like Ziggy Stardust
Mhm.
or the Thin White Duke. But you look at the music that he produced and how he produced it.
Yeah.
He was writing poetry a lot. He sculpted all the time. He drew a lot. He painted a lot. And that all contributed to the very expressive, different vocals you hear in his music, the different instrumentation.
Yeah.
I heard that he was very into krautrock, which was a genre deriving from Germany,
Yeah.
in which the instrumentals were the primary focus of the music, not even the vocals. The instrumentals overpowered the vocals, and he lived in Berlin for 3 years. So he extracted a little bit of everything from what he learned and experienced through different cultures,
Yeah.
and that's what shaped him as an artist, and that goes back to fashion as well.
Mhm.
Looking at different periods in history, like the Renaissance or, like, the Harlem Renaissance. Like,
Yes.
it all is important in how we look at fashion, how we look at art, music, anything.
Yeah.
It's just, I think, evolving as people, back to this
Mhm.
evolution concept.
Yeah.
It's important to experience different cultures and to look into the history of them
Yeah.
because it provides new perspectives and it provides new spurts of creativity to actually create on.
Yeah. No, you're, like, right on the money, and, honestly, music is obviously a big part of my life too, and I take Michael Jackson as inspiration to
The
me
best.
because, for me, I have a very high voice for a guy, and I am a really high tenor as well, and that was not something I was always proud of, but then there's, like, Mitch Grassi from Pentatonix. He has a
Okay,
very
yeah.
high voice as well too, and he embraces it. Michael Jackson embraces his high vocals as well, and
It's
that
his trademark.
right? And it made me realize, okay, I have something special. And my voice teacher last year, Dr. Dre Dancer, he was like, "You have a moneymaker voice. This is the
Mhm.
voice that's gonna put you on the map." And I said, "Okay." So now I'm learning that, like, okay, maybe having such a high voice isn't a bad thing after all, and I should embrace it more. And I'm glad that I'm able to do that. And it is part of my evolving as a person because I used to just never be pleased with who I was as a person. Like anyone who just gave me compliments saying that I was like, I did great, I had a good performance, I was assuming everyone was lying to me.
Sometimes we do assume that it's all
Yeah.
lies.
Yes, like, I feel like you're just being nice to me to be nice. Like, I never took time to realize, "Okay, maybe I am pleased with what I did."
Mhm.
Like, doing symphony chorus, performing that night, that was one of the very few nights where I was genuinely super proud of myself and what I did, because the music we did was
Oh,
very difficult and
it was really hard.
it was hard, and at the end, we hold out a note for a very long time too.
And I don't know if you saw, I posted that video on my Instagram as a
Yeah.
reel, and it's so funny. I always look at you in it, and I always look at me in it, and we're
Yes!
both hanging on for
On
dear life, but we're both so you can tell we're both so locked
like, we
in,
are
so
locked, we're
passionate.
like, "We have to."
You know what's so funny is everybody's been commenting, not in the comments, but saying to me, "Oh my god, like, your mouth looks like it's shaking." I was like, "Well, because it was,
It
number
was,
1, I was
yeah.
trying to hold that note out for so long, but also because I don't think anybody realized I was actually crying at the end.
Oh, I was
So
crying
my
too.
mouth was like this, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Hold it out," but I was just so proud of us, and I was bawling my eyes
Yeah,
out.
because
No,
we
I
did
don't know
it.
if you can even see it in the video,
I
but
all you see me is like, but I was locked in, no trust. Because when you posted the video, which by the way, wasn't it used for the official Instagram page, your
Yes,
video?
that was the video, and then Ian also had one
Yeah.
from the audience, the main audience, but my parents got the box seats because they got there so early, so my mom got that
Wow.
one angle.
Yeah, that was I loved it because we
Oh,
did
so
Bolito.
good.
Who's the composer for that? Who did that?
Rodrigo Boito,
Okay, and
because that was the prologue to Mephistopheles.
okay, and we did the final psalmody. That was, like, the last part of
I
our
will
set.
always remember that final psalmody.
That made me cry. I started bawling my eyes out when we go like, "Ave Signor," like, when we get to that point and the symphony just starts doing their thing,
Oh,
I got emotional during dress rehearsal, I got emotional that night too. It kinda felt like the year was coming to an end too.
oh yeah.
Like, everything was just like, that felt like it sealed the deal of
Oh, it did.
everything I've worked hard for this entire semester. That moment felt like everything to me. And performing that and hitting that note at the end, hitting my high notes, doing
Yeah,
the tenor usuals, it's
that was
like
such a strong finish.
it was because I was tenor all year
Yeah,
with everything I did. Well, jazz, I was baritone, but
okay.
besides the point. But just tenoring all year and that being my final moment as a tenor for the school year, hitting that note, it was very emotional and sentimental to me.
Yeah.
And it felt like all of my hard work paid off this school year.
The piece was so well selected. Now,
Absolutely.
I'm not throwing shade at the symphony chorus piece last year, the Mozart Coronation Mass. It was still a great piece, different
Mhm.
time period and everything.
Yeah.
But this, it didn't hit like this one.
Yeah.
I was bawling my eyes out at the end of that piece. I'm like, "Oh my god."
It was
It was so strong,
magical.
and
Mhm.
to have the really big orchestra, I think that is always such an impactful feature to have in a symphony chorus piece, because Mozart's orchestra was much smaller.
Yeah.
I mean, it was classical era, but to have all that sound just drowning out your ears and singing
Yes.
on the top of your lungs
Yes.
is the
Oh
best
my
feeling ever.
gosh. I feel like I was holding on for dear life trying to hit those notes, but
Yeah.
the symphony was just too powerful. It's like
Yeah.
you kinda
It
have to
was
do what you have to
so
do.
good.
But I'm gonna close this episode because
Yeah,
it
we went a long time.
yeah, and I am still a college student and I still have to take my final, but we this was a wonderful deep dive. And Maria, I'm so grateful that you wanted to talk about this because this is something I typically
We
think
all go
about
through
all the
it.
time, right?
Yeah.
But to see it assessed in real life and us talking about it, it's a very different thing. And I'm just super glad we got to talk about this together.
Yeah, me
But
too. Thank you so much for having me on.
thank you for being a guest. Thank you for sharing all of your experiences, your life stories. I love to hear it all.
Oh,
And you're always welcome back if you want.
thank you.
All right. Well, this is What Even Is Life with Brandon Owens. I'm your host, Brandon Owens, and I'm signing out. Later. All right.